Welcome everybody to the back and forth. Chanel, we've been talking before this thing even started about child support and child support issues because we ran across some topics and this thing has spun off into something else. So we're just gonna make it a show. You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go. Welcome everybody to the back and forth. As we just said, if you're new to this, hit that like, subscribe, and notification button so you know when we're bringing out new content. But what we're doing is a little bit different today. Usually we have a topic to come from, and we usually talk to that topic. But this thing that we're talking about right now, we're talking about child support and how much should you pay. And it all stemmed from a conversation we were having about Nick Cannon and how much money he has to pay a year in child support, like $1.2 million a year in child support. We saw an article. And Chanel went one way, I went another way. And so what we want to do is bring you all in on the conversation. So Chanel,
Yes.
go ahead and tell the people where you came from on this.
Where I was coming from was from the aspect of the child. Sometimes people feel that child support is lopsided, and in some cases it can be, but we got to go back, I feel, and reflect on some of the decisions that we made that perhaps produced this child, and now the consequences are out there. So there's different options. There's different options when it comes to custody, and how that impacts your child support. So Kevin and I were just speaking about Nick Cannon, and with all of his children, I think he's on the 8th one now. And I think all of the child supports total to about $1.2 million a year. So break that into 12 months, it's about $1 million a month.
No.
Yes.
You said $1 million for a year, it's $100,000. It'd be $100,000 for a month. It's 1.2.
No, you're right. You're right.
Million.
What kind of math?
$1 million a month? Who paying that kind of money?
100,000. You're right. 100,000 a month. I don't know what my math. My
I
math.
don't know what your math is at. Woo! We got hot in here.
So Kev, so you were speaking to, if you have your child a certain amount of time as far as visitation, why does it matter how the child lives when it goes back to the mom's house? Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's what I was saying. Okay. So a lot of these cases that we read and hear about are from high profile people. Mm-hmm. And so it could be an athlete, actor, entertainer, and they have a child with another person. Let's say the person isn't in that line of work. Let's say the person is a regular person, just going through a regular normal daily life, making probably $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year. I'm just saying just throwing a number. And this person right here is making millions of dollars a year. Mm-hmm. You choose to lay down with somebody, unprotected, of course, because this is where this comes in, unprotected, and you all have a baby together. Yes, you have a lifestyle, and that mother had a lifestyle when you all met. I don't know if it's a one-night stand or whatever. It doesn't matter. Now we have a child that just came into this world, and my thing was this right here. If a court orders you to pay child support, let's say you have shared custody, joint custody, and the child with you half of the year or half of the time, and then with the other parent half of the time. And when they're with you, they're living your lifestyle. When they're with their mom, they're living whatever lifestyle she has. Mm-hmm. That's where I come at it from that standpoint. And yes, it's not the child's fault for being here. And it's you as the parent who's paying child support. Let's say you're ordered to pay $1,200 a month for child support. Mm-hmm. That child support is where we help to raise the child, whatever the child needs: school, clothes, upkeep, food, and everything. Mm-hmm. Nowhere in the definition of child support was the word spousal support, because you're not married. Mm-hmm. And for those of you who don't know out there, child support is a little touchy subject with me. I wrote a book about it called the 32K format, and the 32K stands for $32,000, which I had ended up paying. But my children lived with me at the time. But the way the system's set up, if you don't go back to court and address those type of things, you still are owing child support. Mm-hmm. And so this is where I come into play with this, Chanel, because I'm not trying to offset anything that was said or anything that was done. I look at it from the standpoint when they're with me, they live my lifestyle, and with the mom, they live her lifestyle. I'm still contributing because I'm still paying child support. But where in the world, jeez, when we start looking at people who are paying $47,000 a month for child support because they're an athlete and they're making millions of dollars, you tell me where it's going to cost somebody $47,000 a month to take care of a child, and I'll stop. I'll let you take it from there because you tell me where it's going to cost $47,000 a month. I'll wait. Question, I'm waiting. I'm waiting. No, I'm waiting because I don't know.
Oh,
You tell
okay.
me.
So no, it's not going to cost $47,000 to take care of a child. If you get the Walmart clothes and Walmart diapers and you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
the lifestyle can be from one range to another. Depends on
Yeah.
what kind of clothes you buy. And it may take you $47,000 to raise it, depending on what type of lifestyle that child does have. However, in the case of child support, the child support is not just the father's income that's calculated here. So my suggestion for those that have a lot, of issue with the child support and how it's calculated, date in your lane. Have unprotected sex in your lane. Now we can't go back, and we just can't. We can't predict the changes that people may go through that end up causing you not to be together. But what I am saying though is if you're just out here casually having sex, you're not married to this person, you don't have any time invested with this person, then don't have unprotected sex.
Yeah, that's
and
bottom line,
especially don't have unprotected sex with somebody that is not in the same class financially as you, because most likely when they're weighing her income versus your income, you're going to feel like you got the short end of the stick. Well, the short end of the stick was you was having unprotected sex with the short end of the stick. That's kind of what happened. You had unprotected sex with the short end of the stick, and then now you got the short end of the stick. That's how it works. You reap where you sow. You sow at the short end of the stick, and you reap in the short end of the stick. So all I'm saying, Kev, is this. All I'm saying is this. It's just not his income that is calculated. It's hers as well. And for that child to psychologically not have to flip-flop, they try to make it an even playing field so it's not so stressful for the child. However, people feel like, well, that she's spending her money on this and that and the other. That's part of you not being together. That's just part of it. You can't control what she spends the money on. The other piece of that is, again, this person, if you was not married to this person, at least you're not paying spousal on top of that. I mean, at least you're not doing that.
And I'm not trying to sound cruel or anything. I just look at it from the standpoint it's right here. We just read about it so much in the tabloids and all the media out there about, like, for example, people getting got. What I'm saying, you got people out there who are just trying to
come up.
And they have relations with the athlete or somebody out there, and they get themselves up and they become famous. They become popular because of this right here. And I was looking at it from the standpoint is right here. We talked about something a while back, and it was one of the episodes we were talking about where the lady said that she wanted more money in child support because it's not fair. It's not fair to her and her family, her husband and her child, because the man got remarried and she was also remarried now, but his new wife makes almost $1 million a year. So she wants to come after her coin, saying, well, you making this kind of money and we need more child support because our child shouldn't be living this way because my husband's in the army and everything. That's got nothing to do with the child situation. Because, and we had this conversation because who I get married to, this is our money, but this is her job. Why are you trying to take money from out of our pockets now to help raise our child that I'm already paying child support for in the first place based on my salary? I didn't go to court based on me and my wife's new salary. It's my salary and her salary and the mother. You know, so that's how we're gonna look at it. You know, and if you sit around not working, and we've seen it happen. We've seen it happen on both ends, Chanel, where a father will just quit his job because he doesn't want to pay any more child support. He say this is ridiculous, and because it sometimes in certain states wherever you go to, it is harsh. It is harsh, and I know people who are paying $1,400-$1,500 a month in child support, and they're barely bringing home $3,000 a check. Whew, that is a lot of money. That is a lot of money, and you know, so I'm just not say sensitive about that, because when you talk about how much money it costs to raise a child, unless this child's going, you know, if the father lives in California, they're going to private schools, they know how much private schools cost a month and everything. You got to keep the child has to stay in school. But if the child with a mom and they're going to public school, it's not going to cost you. You're not paying what do you call that? Tuition and all that stuff, room and board and stuff. You're going to public school, and so I hear what you say. They get used to a certain lifestyle. Because I heard like on a radio show where somebody said, well, his lifestyle list right here, the baby should have that type of lifestyle. I agree and disagree. I agree and disagree because everybody chooses to have the lifestyle they choose. What if the mom didn't want to be in the limelight? What if she was a private person and she liked to keep to herself? But the court ordered you to pay all this money in child support, which is probably made more than she was making in the first place. And so now I've seen it, Chanel, where the father said, I need receipts. Because there's no way in the world I'm paying all this money. I need receipts, and you got to go. It's in the court order. I need receipts because if it's costing that much money every month, I need to know what you're paying it, spending it on. Because you're not going to squander the money on yourself, and the child gets nothing. Because we've seen that kind of stuff happen before too, and that's the only reason I bring it up, because we've seen the child living a lifestyle and the mom living a lifestyle too, and it's like, wait a minute, you all had the sex one time, two times, whatever. One time they caused this to happen. You should be bankrolling off of the mom. Shouldn't be bankrolling off of it. That's for the child, to an extent. Now I understand what you're saying, so that's where I'm going. Cause I know I don't talk for a long time. Chanel, you mess around. See, I was supposed to be talking
because we touched a nerve, and I get it. Yeah, it is a nerve. This is more talking than you normally do, so it's a nerve. But and it's all good. That's what we're here for. But at the end of the day, you know, I understand what, you know, because people, you know, we got some people out here that don't just want to do right. They just don't want to do right. Yeah. And what I say to that, Kev, is this. If you see that this is a situation where you would perhaps be the better parent on so many other levels, get you a father's rights attorney. Because here's the deal. It's not just, we're in 2022. We're no longer living where it's just automatically the kids go to the mom. No, you know, you have a fighting chance. And if you have an issue, if child support isn't the main issue, but you got some other issues, child support is probably just a symptom of the children being with the mom, then go and fight for your kids. If you live in a vicinity where shared time is possible, and it could be effective for your children. You don't want to just do it just because you don't want to pay child support or that much child support. You want to make sure that you guys are getting the kids are getting to school on time every day, whether they're with you or with her. Like, don't just do it for that reason. If you feel like, you know what, I can pour into my children, I have more time to pour into my children, I can make a major impact, then go do that. Don't sit back and talk about, I don't want to pay child support. Go and be a father and go and get you a good attorney and be in your kids' life. Show up for your kids. And like I said, the courts tend to reward you in the terms of you have less child support, perhaps maybe none. This is another plug though for you fellas out there from a woman's perspective. If you are constantly showing up for your child, and this is if you decided to go have unprotected sex with somebody that has a conscience and a brain and you know, they are family oriented. If you are consistently showing up for that child, you're consistently in that child's life, you are consistent with being a father, y'all may be able to work out some outside deal. And if you do something like that, make sure you have an attorney involved. Don't just do something on the side where, you know, and then, you know, y'all agree to something and then she go back and you about to go to jail because of something y'all agreed to, but she forgot that y'all agreed to it. Make sure that you keep yourself protected and covered, because if you're showing up that way and she agrees and y'all can have an amicable relationship and lessen the child support because you are showing up consistently, do that. have an attorney write it up and you both sign off on it. That can be a way to where y'all can have a better co-parenting relationship, and you're not so focused on this woman always in my pockets. That's just a plug for you fellas out there. But yeah, me personally, I'm not gonna tell you all my business, but for me personally, that was more important than his money. And he has, all these years, he has been very, very consistent, showing up as a father. And you know, I'm grateful and blessed.
And that is a great point, Chanel, because I've seen it where some parents we don't even do child support, because we're there for our children's lives, and we have communication with one another to be able to, if something's needed, we just, between the two parents, they'll just end up paying what they got to pay. But everybody's not at that point. And some of these relationships are vitriol, and it's nasty. And so what's the one way that someone can get back at somebody? And child support has been used as a weapon and a tool. Mm-hmm. And so that's where we come at it from. That's why child support is such a trigger point for some people. And so that's why we bring up these topics. This wasn't supposed to be a topic today. However, me and Chanel started having a conversation. We said we might as well start recording this, because it becomes one of those things. And, you know, I'm always from the communication standpoint. Mm-hmm. You know, if you don't know who you laying down with, then maybe you need to think twice about that too. Because a lot of people won't end up in this situation if they knew they were laying I don't want to sing the song, laying down with in the first place. Because they would be able to have these conversations. They would be able to go to a mediator and get these things resolved prior to going into the courtroom and having a judge make that decision. Yeah. But we all know that everybody's situation is unique, and we're not all, no two relationships are the same. And so all we can do is sit on the outside looking in, but we can give you life experiences from ourselves, me and Chanel's standpoint, and things that we've experienced, things we know that people experience. But we know we ask that you as co-parents out there, if you all are going through these type of issues, and even the courts have told parents, keep us out of your business. We would rather you take care of your business on your own and be adults about this than come to us, because if we come to us, somebody's not going to like the outcome. And that's where we're at right now. And so true. And so that's where we're at right now. This has been another good topic, Chanel.
Yes.
Yeah, this was impromptu. It was an impromptu topic, just off of a whim. Though. We just threw it out there. But hey, I'm always going to tell these people, Chanel, to make sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notification button to come back so you know when we put new content out here. But I'm also going to tell them to stay safe and be blessed. And what else you got for them?
You know, condoms, birth control, cheaper than child support. That's it. But keep God first. Keep God first. Date. If you're gonna have unprotected sex, stay in your lane with the unprotected sex, okay? Because if you just stay in your lane, but keep God first. And if you keep God first, you ain't gonna be just laying down with anybody. That's all I got, Ken.
I'm done. I got nothing for. We out. I'm done.